And the Qualified Data Task Force community meeting on this past Saturday turned into an uproar. I spoke with task force and county council members, and they shared their reaction to the community's passionate response.
I was frankly disgusted and disappointed by some of the behavior that I saw there.
The Qualified Data Center Task Force co-chair is talking about what he witnessed at their community meeting last Saturday, when hundreds of community members turned their meeting upside down.
I watched a member of the community who is a member of a labor union who couldn't even complete a sentence. So it wasn't the case that everyone was able to give their testimony freely and respectfully. No.
In response to Burrows' comments, one of his fellow task force members cited the Martin Luther King quote, "A riot is the language of the unheard."
People wanted to be heard in that meeting, and initially they were denied the opportunity to be heard, and they stood up for themselves so that they could be heard. And unfortunately, it wasn't the way that the counselors wanted to have them have their voice heard, but it was an effective way.
We elect these people into office, right? Laws can be changed, policies can be changed, but if they're not listening, which they often absolutely do not, as we've seen, then the people are the ones throughout history, all over the world, that have pressured any of the changes that we have today.
Burrows says there's a lot of misinformation circulating about data centers, and some of the community's response on Saturday was just chaos for chaos' sake.
It's like, do you want the real information? It's a question that I have. I'm unclear.
On the misinformation front, task force member Walla Bugay says she agrees.
So I do think post-task force, it will be good for us to have maybe a community meeting where people are informed instead of it just being comments.
But community members say they are informed and are aware of the negative health, economic, and environmental impacts of data centers.
I'm trusting that this task force will weigh all of those things and come up with recommendations that take into account, of course, the sentiments of the community and all of the other information that we have.
And there will be no more Qualified Data Center Task Force community meetings. The task force is working on finalizing their recommendations, as they must be submitted to the County Council by November 30th.